Aloha, everybody, and welcome to Mana Restoration with yours truly, Note Endurance. We're going to start off with our scripture, and today it's Hebrews 12, verse 1. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witness, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." That is awesome. It reminds me of the saying, "Are you running your own race?" It has me thinking of actually two different things. One is compared thinking, one is purpose thinking. And I think this helps you run your own race because I think that's where we get stuck in running our race because sometimes we tend to look over at the next person. I don't know if it's you or like myself. Sometimes you tend to look on Facebook and you see things that you wish that you were doing, you wish that you had. A lot of those things, I think, are really just people's highlight reel of things that go on day to day, with the excitement in life. I think if you follow the day to day, there'd be a lot more actually to go through. Now, back to the compared thinking. Here's a quote that I heard, and it says, "Every second you're thinking about what somebody else has is taking away time that you can create something for yourself." 100% believe that. That's why horses have blinders. If you ever seen horse racing, one of my mentors, when I was in Los Angeles, actually took me to a horse racing track and introduced me to horse racing. I was really intrigued with it because of the science behind it. Um, the science behind of what they're feeding, what their training regiments, the breeding, who are they bred from, everything, even the jockey that's riding it. It all comes down to a science to it, and that's honestly why you see the Kentucky Derby, the Triple Crown. Those horses, if you ever noticed, they have blinders. The blinders is to prevent them from looking aside and keep them focused on the goal. I think that's where purpose thinking comes in. If we continue to think on purpose and keep those blinders, it keeps us focused on where we're headed, where we're going, what we need to do. Now, back to compared thinking. As you're thinking of other people, you're seeing this. A lot of people tend to be a copy of somebody instead of being the original. And there's a quote or saying, it says, "Don't be a copy of somebody when you can be your original." I think we all have that in us to be original. If you ever heard of the term OG, original gangster, that's exactly what you should have in for you, I would say. That originality, that thing that makes you stand out. That's honestly what made hip hop is back in the early from 70s, 80s, 90s. It was all about individuality and how can you make your style pop out and basically not copying anybody. Be yourself. That's the only person that God made you to be. So I think that's important to find out who you are. Now, also discovering on who you are. At any time, you can recreate who you are and who you want to be. If you're tired of who you become, then change your vision, of just who you see yourself are or is. I would say change that vision. If you haven't, start to develop that vision of what you want. Put your blinders on. There's a saying that says comparison is a thief of joy. And I really think that because if we spend all our time on worrying about what other people have, on what other people, you know, things they're doing, we're not focusing on bringing our best selves to the table, our 100%, because we're too distracted by somebody else. Run your race just like in the beginning, keep that, away from you, so that way you're able to focus on the purpose thinking. Now, going back to purpose thinking, it brings happiness, it brings joy, it pulls you towards that life that you want, it gets you excited for your vision and your goals. Love the process of the purpose thinking. You know, they always say if you go ahead and you say what you want, and all you have to do is trace yourself back to where you're at, you can see your plan of what direction you want to go. Just like that horse. Just like that horse that has those blinders on, that's in that gate, that all he sees is the finish line. That's all you need to focus on, is where you're going. Stop comparing. Social media, I think, is one of the biggest positive but also negative things there is. Positive, as we're sharing this message, we're trying to reach people to relate, but also there's that other chance where people get sucked in and they're scrolling and they're looking at everybody's highlights and they're saying, man, I wish I could have this. When if you put away the distractions and you focus on your purpose thinking, focus on that finish line, you can actually be one of those people that are posting about your successes instead of kind of envying others. How I would say, I got a couple things on how to get your purpose thinking, and that is define what success and happiness means to you. What is that makes you happy? And if you don't know, I think you should start questioning yourself. Ask, what is that that's going to make me happy? If money wasn't the issue and I wanted to be satisfied with what I have, what would that be? It's different for everybody. Success is measured different for everyone. We tend to compare ourselves more when we don't know what we stand for. And that was a quote from Jay Shetty. And if we know what we stand for, then we can put on those blinders, go to that finish line, keep on that straight path on where we know where we belong, where we're supposed to be, that vision that God is giving us. God didn't give that vision to anybody else but you. That's why he says, prepare yourself and set yourself for that race ahead. You have the endurance. On that note, I think that ask yourself, discover your strengths. Start questioning, what is my purpose of what I want to do? What is the thing that I want to achieve? Define what that happiness and success is to you. If you get that happiness and success that you want, all the rest, it doesn't matter because you're happy on the inside. And I think that's where it all matters the most. What are you feeling? Friends always told me, what should I do? And when they ask me, I always tell them, what do you feel on the inside? That's the only thing that matters. When it comes down to it and when everything is done, it's really all of what you give and all of what you feel and hear and what the heart is leading you. So on that, I want to, just encourage you to get that purpose thinking. Stop comparing. Start having an idea of what you want. Share this message with somebody that is doing that. Like it, subscribe, hit the bell. That way, the next message comes up, you can share it with another. Our goal at Mana Restoration and Mana Inspiration is simply to inspire and to help others. Because if we can do that, others will know that they're not alone. We're in it together. All we have to do is talk and actually share our insides of what we're feeling. You'd be surprised on how many others are feeling the same way. Just like that, I think continue loving, continue coming from the heart. Go put those blinders on today and start focusing on what you want. Again, aloha, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week. We have another great message. And I want you to share this, like this, subscribe, hit the bell. Like I said, the goal over here at Mana Inspiration is to get that one person. That way we're sharing, we're able to help, We're here to be and share with you that journey of success on where we're going. But you guys have a blessed week. Aloha. Take it easy, guys. Thanks.